What is up, YouTube? I wanted to make a video on how I am going over my risk management plan when I'm on these 50K Apex Trader funded accounts, right? Someone requested this video. This is just gonna go over how I'm treating these accounts. This is my personal journey. This is how I'm personally taking care of them right now because I've been here many times before. You guys have heard before that I've talked about I've had 11 PA accounts before, blown those before getting a $35,000 payout. I have 9 of them. I had like 8. I've been here many times. This is the part where I'm trying to get over and consistently build these accounts over the long term. That's the part that I mostly struggle with, and I'm honest with that in my journey. I just want to go over what's been working for me lately for the past 3 months after getting all these accounts. I've built up to 13 on Apex. I'm trying to build up to 20, right? That's the overall goal. This is the most accounts I've ever had before, and we started off with 3 about 2.5 months ago or something like that, and then before that I went on a little bit of a rut for a little bit. Again, we were passing accounts, but then I'd blow them right away, and I was just doing stupid things because when I lost those 11, it was very emotional, and again, I'm totally honest with that, but it's just all part of the journey, and I'm just being honest with you guys and showing it out there. So you can hate if you want, but again, I'm showing the real truth and real reality of my journey and showing the whole process until we get to where we want to be. So I put a little slideshow together for you guys, for the people who actually want to learn. Someone in my Discord actually requested this video. Hopefully this will help them out because they're a little bit of a beginner trader, and it'll show you what prop firms are, how you can use them, how you can take advantage of them, and how you should be using risk management on a 50K account. Let's say what I'd recommend to start off with, right? Or again, I personally like 50K accounts. I've done 150K accounts. I've done 300K accounts. But again, personally, I like the 50K accounts because again, you can get past the evaluation a lot quicker than the other ones. And again, to get past the threshold to build those accounts, it's a lot less, and that's personally why I like it because again, I don't risk a lot anyway, right? I try and do the correct amount of risk that I've learned works best for me over the times of how many times I've failed, and just going back and looking at the data on why I kept failing and why I keep getting close to this point, but I can't get past that one extra hump. And again, like I said, I'm being honest with you guys about that, and yeah, that's all we can pretty much do. So let's dive right into it. All right, so as I said in the beginning of the video, right, the whole point of this video is going to be going over risk management on prop firm accounts, right? So the number one reason traders blow prop accounts and how I avoid it personally, right? This is based off of my journey. This isn't financial advice. This is based off of what works for me and what is working for me currently to help me still build these accounts as we keep building more accounts on top of them, right? So starting off, let's go over why is risk management important. Again, I went back in my old notes and everything like this, and I put time to actually doing this for you guys to give you guys the best information based off of my journey. So again, I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm also just going to speak after from the top of my head. So why is risk management important? Risk management is the backbone of long-term success in trading, especially with prop firms. It's not about avoiding losses, it's about controlling them. The best traders understand that consistency and capital preservation matter more than any single trade. Without proper risk management, even the best strategy will fail. With it, you can survive losing streaks, stay funded, and build real lasting profitability, right? This is something I went over in my last video or a couple videos back when I was in drawdown on these accounts, right? I've been in drawdown on these accounts 3 times, right? The market has thrown curveballs at me, trying to test me on what I've learned and on what the experiences I've had of already doing this and what losses accounts I've already blown, what mistakes I've already made. It's testing me to see if I actually learned my lesson or am I going to keep repeating that cycle over and over again. So what I've learned, my risk management, right? I went back in my data and I see my risk management. Every time I would get close to passing a prop, getting a big payout, building these accounts to a certain point and trying to request that huge payout, right, between all these accounts. Every time I would get to that point, I would start to just throw my game plan out of the window, risk bigger on the trades because I lost a trade and wanted to get there because I was so close. And it was like, what do I really need to change to be able to keep building these accounts slowly, right? And I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear that slowly part, but I truly believe that is the best way. And I'm personally dealing with that right now. Yeah, I want to oversize. Yeah, I want to get these accounts past a certain position. But I learned from personal experiences that every time I do that, I am reacting off of emotion. I'm taking trades off emotion. I'm taking stupid trades. I'm not holding my trades long enough because I'm putting too much size on it. I won't let my trades run, right? Sometimes they go into drawdown and I'll cut them instantly because I already don't like the P&L, how it's looking because I'm risking so much. Like there's so many things that I've learned going back and being here before, right? Again, I truly think that's the best way to learn when it comes to trading is you have to fail. You have to go back and fail and see what problems you're having. Is it your strategy? Is it your risk management? Is it your psychology? Is it your rule system? Is it how many trades you take a day? There's so many things you got to go back and deep dive into yourself with. And that's what I started doing, and it came down to risk management on this time around, right? Over the past 3 years of trading futures, right? I've traded 6 years my whole life, but I've been trading futures for around 3 years. But what I have learned is every time that I got close to, again, I had to build up, I had to figure out a strategy, I had to figure out how the markets work, I had to get experience in the markets. But once I got to that part where it's like I'm passing evaluations all the time, but I already have gotten like 1 or 2 payouts, but it's like I can't consistently get these big payouts. I deep dived into my mind and I saw that I keep getting emotional around these times and not following my risk management plan and not following my trades. Like as soon as I would lose a trade, and let's say I'm $100 away, or I just need a $150 day, right, to get that payout one more day, I'll lose a trade, and it's like, then I oversize trying to get that back, and then I take another trade, and then I take another trade, and then what do you know, the accounts are blown. So it's like I've gone back and deep dived into myself and learned that, to me personally, slow and consistent and being patient and taking good trades and taking the correct size and slowly building up these accounts to get past that buffer is the right thing to do stress-wise and emotional-wise. Because again, I feel way less free when I enter a trade because I know the long-term game plan. I could see my data. I could see I'm more profitable than I am losing. I could see that if I follow a system, I can be more profitable in the consistent long run, right? And again, that's hard to consistently follow when you're in the moment and actually doing it. That is the real hard part. Like you could talk about it and say you're going to do it, but when you are live in the markets and you are just, let's say you crash out or something like that, it's like you can't control it, but it sucks once you do it after. And you're like, why was I such an idiot? Why didn't I just follow my system that I know that works? And again, you gotta learn how to be able to develop the skills to get to that point where you actually can control those emotions. Or know, like today, for example, I knew today when I took my trade, if you go back and watch it, it's October 6th, right? I'm filming this video on October 6th. If you go back and watch the trade, dude, as soon as I entered, I was emotional. Something was telling me, Travis, this is not a good trade. You shouldn't take it. Even though the trade fully played out, I exited early because the other index was not correlated with it. And every time I've seen that, if price action was smooth and clean and it wasn't Monday, dude, I'm telling you, I would have been stopped out in that trade. It was not a good trade. As soon as I realized that, I knew my emotions were all over the place. So I decided to just take my profits, exit, and be done with the day because I knew I was emotional. And I'm starting to learn that that's a good thing to know when you're in that mindset. If you know you're emotional, if you know you're rushing into a trade, if you know, right, in the back of your mind that this is not the right thing to do, you should sit on your hands and be patient or miss out on the day. You got to learn to be able to identify that. Yeah, you might make the mistake and enter that trade, but you can always click that button and just get out of it, right? If you're chasing that P&L and chasing those big wins to get to that spot as quick as possible, then you're not going to perform as well and you're going to take unnecessary losses. Yeah, I get not being emotional and letting trades run, right? Again, I totally understand that, but you got to know when to do that and when to just preserve your capital and get out of the markets when they're not in your favor, right? Those are the days that are going to help you build more and more over time, because instead of taking those stupid little losses, you can just either sit out for the day and not take a trade, or notice that this is not a good trade. I'm either going to cut it to break even, or I'm going to take my profits where they are and I'm just going to be done for the day. I'm not in the headspace. Let's move on to the next day, you know? And that's a hard thing to understand in trading, and that's something I'm trying to deal with right now. And I think social media is the main problem with that, because everybody has their opinions out there and they're just throwing them out there on the For You page, and you see a different opinion every single time. And it can mind fuck you, and it's a pain in the ass. But let's go on to the next slide. So risk management on funded accounts versus live accounts, right? I'm talking about funded accounts. I've traded live accounts before. I've done terrible on them. I will be totally honest with you. I am not ready for a live account. For some reason, my brain goes all retarded or something like that. So I'm not trying to offend people when I say that word. I just start talking. Sorry. But I just go all over the place and I perform really bad. And again, that's just going back from my Forex days, because again, I traded Forex with that money I got lucky with on crypto. Lost all of it, basically. Basically lost all that. And I just feel like there's an emotional attachment to that I still need to learn and prove a point on these PA accounts. Get to the position where I need to be able to trade a live account, right? Just build up that confidence. But that's just me personally. Right now, I don't trade live accounts because I've had bad experiences with it. I still have room to grow in my trading before I get there, and I'd rather take advantage of prop firm accounts instead of my real capital, because I've seen how quick you can lose real capital. All right, I've seen how quick you can lose $100,000, and it does not feel good when you do that. All right. So funded accounts and live accounts are two completely different games when it comes to risk management. On a funded account, you're playing with someone else's money. You've got rules, drawdowns, and limits that you have to respect if you want to stay funded. It's all about protecting the account and surviving long enough to get payouts. On a live account, it's your own money on the line. So there's more freedom, but also more emotion. And also you can lose all your money right away, right? So you can take more calculated risk, but discipline still matters. Knowing how to adjust your risk between the two is what separates a real trader from a gambler. When we go into risk management, guys, risk management on funded accounts is different because you have a trailing drawdown, and we're going to go over that, right? Just on the prop firm that I use. And on a live account, you don't have a trailing drawdown. Whatever money you make, the more capital you have to trade, right? But on a funded account, to get past where you can get a payout or to build the accounts, on Apex, there is a trailing drawdown, which I will go over, that you have to get past first to be able to start compounding those accounts over time. And that's the goal where you have to have good risk management to be able to survive on these accounts, because those prop firms want you to go on those losing streaks, and you're going to go on losing streaks in trading. And this is why the slow path is better with the risk management plan, because you don't know when those days are coming, right? You're showing up every day trying to perform to the best of your ability, but you don't know what those days are coming. And literally this time around, dude, I would have blown my accounts. If you went back six months ago, I would have blown my accounts every single time for the 3 times I've been in drawdown this time. But it sucks when your accounts go back down a lot. But again, I went on a 5-trade losing streak recently. I think a month ago. I have a video on that. Dude, I was down big on my accounts, and then we ended up getting it back within a week. But again, I didn't try and rush to get it back. I sized down and took good trades, targeted 1 to 2s, 1 to 3s, let those trades run to get more profits out of those times when those trades could run. But again, I sized down with less risk because I wanted to just get back to break even, you know? Let's go to the next slide. So what is a funded account? Let's go over what a funded account is first for the people who are beginners and beginning in trading, right? So what is a funded account? So you have Apex Trader Funding, you have Top Step, you have Earn to Trade, you have Take Profit Trader. I've only used Apex Trader Funding and Top Step. I heard Earn to Trade is good and Take Profit Trader, but again, that's just research I've done. I've never used them. Only one I use personally right now is Apex Trader Funding, because I didn't like Top Step with the daily drawdown. I'm not sure if they still have that or not, but Apex, I personally like them. If you follow the rules, you will get payouts. But a funded account is basically when you prove you can trade profitable. Holy shiznit. I have dyslexia, so you guys got to be patient with me, okay? I'm trying to read to the best of my ability. A funded account is basically when you prove you can trade profitably with rules and consistency, and then a prop firm gives you access to their capital to trade. For example, with Apex Trader Funding, personally, because this is what I use, you first have to pass an evaluation phase by hitting the profit target without breaking any of the rules, like the daily or trailing drawdown. Once you pass, they fund you with a real account where you can start earning payouts. Again, when you get these accounts, it's not real money yet, right? You have to prove you could be a profitable trader for them to probably switch you over to a live account, right? But as of now, you're trying to build up capital on these real accounts so that you can get consistent payouts over the time. But most people can't do that, right? Once you pass, they fund you with a real account where you can start earning payouts. It's a great way to scale up without risking your own capital, but it only works if you respect the rules and manage your risk like a pro, right? I think trading funded accounts to get payouts is harder than a live account, right? In that instance, I think a live account is harder in different ways because you can lose all your money right away if you become emotional. So if you have a $100,000 account, it's going to suck worse to lose a $100,000 real account compared to a $100,000 funded account where you have the ability to trade like $100,000, but you have a drawdown of $5,000, which you're paying like a $200 activation fee, right? So you're only spending $200 to get to the ability to build a $100K account instead of just putting $100,000 into a real account. And just, again, if you go haywire on that and you're oversizing, it doesn't feel good. That's what I did. It sucked. It took me out of trading for a little bit. But again, I was young and you live and learn, right? So going over the funded account risk management, right? This is personally how I trade 50K accounts right now, right? I can go over an evaluation video if you guys would like on how I pass those now, because I like to get that over quickly. From now on, this is just how I trade the funded accounts that I'm currently using. So all of this is just the way I trade and what I've learned through my own journey. This isn't financial advice, right? I have to put that in the video for the people. Just again, you know those people. This is how I'm currently trading my 50K funded accounts with the $2,500 trailing drawdown. My goal is to keep these accounts alive as long as possible, right? If you really think about the reality of it, guys, me personally, I don't need that payout right away. I want to prove to myself that I can build these accounts. I'm not even going to request the payout right away. I want to build these accounts to a good position so I can keep building capital on them, not have to worry about a trailing drawdown, and have room to request monthly income out of accounts on these accounts, right? Eventually, I want to reach a point where I can request consistent monthly payouts. The plan is to use these funded accounts to grow more capital and create real sustainable income, right? So you have a 50K trader funding account. Where's my face on this? So we'll put this over here real quick. So you have a $2,500 trailing drawdown. I personally risk $150 to $250 per trade. It matters on the trade, right? I can't just take a trade and I'm gonna say, all right, I'm risking $250. Again, it matters how many points I'm risking. It matters how the trade is looking. It matters how the market's looking. That all matters of why I wanna take that trade. And in the moment, that just overall happens. I just perform in that time, and that is what it is, and I end up taking a trade, right? But I try to risk around $150 to $250 a trade. With a $2,500 drawdown, guys, you have a $2,500 drawdown. You need to get past that $2,500 drawdown to build capital, and I'll explain what a trailing drawdown is. I have the definition down the right corner. But do not treat this like a 50K account. You don't have $50,000 to trade with. You have $2,500 to trade with. I consider it as a $2,500 live account, right? What do you want to risk on a $2,500 live account? Probably 1 to 3%, which isn't a lot. But again, $150 to $250 a trade, that's a little, I don't know what the percentage is on that, but that's a little hefty if you were going to trade a live account, right? So I try and manage my risk based off of that, right? Target my 1 to 2, 1 to 3, see what the trade plays out, right? If I'm risking 150, if I target a 1 to 2, I want to make 300, right? But again, who knows? I take partials in certain areas and the trade go back to break even, but again, we can go over that in a different video. But these are not real 50K accounts. You're trading with the drawdown you have. So if you have a 150K account, you have $5,000 drawdown, and you get past the valuation, you have $5,000 to build these accounts. You understand? Cool. But look, 50K Apex Trader Funding account plan. This is my goal, right? Stick to your rule system. Mine is 1 to 2 trades a day. If I lose the first trade, that gives me room to take one more if the setup is right. If I want to take that one extra trade, I usually go half the position size, target that 1 to 2, and focus on letting that trade run so I can just get my profits back that I lost or minimize them. I don't try and full port and go in a bigger size to try and get it back right away. That's trading off of emotion in the P&L. Step 1, get past the trailing drawdown, which means hitting $2,600 in profit. Once you are above that, the drawdown locks and you can start building the account safely, right? That's the overall game plan, right? Step 2, don't rush the process. Take your time on the funded accounts. Focus on consistency over speed. I've been here many times, guys. I literally posted the screenshot of how many accounts I've passed. I think we've had over like 40 PA accounts. Like I have a little bit right here in that white screenshot. But it's like I've had many funded accounts before. I've had 1,150K funded accounts before, and I blew it before getting a $35,000 payout, right? And that's real shit. That's not a lie. That's really not a lie. It's the truth. And I've noticed over time, every time I rush the process and oversize, I blow the damn accounts. Yeah, maybe you might get 1 or 2 payouts. That's what happened when I got lucky in the beginning of my journey of trading futures. Maybe you get 1 or 2, but if you're consistently trying to get profits over a long period of time and you're just full porting 50% of the account every single trade, that is not going to work in the long run. And it's not going to work when you take 2 or 3 trades a day. And it's not going to work when you go on a losing streak. You got to learn how to calculate your risk based off the account so you can take those losing streaks and still stay alive and still have plenty of room to not have stress on your back to be able to get back to the position they need to be in. So step 3, slowly build those accounts into a comfortable position where you can start pulling monthly income and grow your overall capital base. Guys, if you can build up to freaking 20 accounts, if you request a minimum payout, which is $500, and you can make $1,000 profit a month per account. I did that in August, and I was doing this risk management plan. You can make, once you get past the buffer, if you have freaking $10,000 of drawdown room, and you're risking $500 a trade to make it, that's easy. That's easy once you get to that point. But even if you request, look, 20 accounts times 500, it's $10,000 a month. Like, why not start there? Why wouldn't you rather take your time and get to that $10,000 a month where you can consistently do that? Slowly build that. Go through that slow 6 month to a year phase of building these accounts to get them to that point to be able to consistently get 10K, 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 then 20, then 30, who knows? Until you get kicked the fuck off the prop firm. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop rushing the process. Yeah, I want to rush it too. Yeah, I really, really do. I have people who tell me you need to size up, you need to do this and that, but it doesn't work for me personally, and it's proven that it hasn't worked in my journey. Slow and steady and taking good trades, being consistent, and being patient, right? If you have a good month, you can build accounts. On August, we made $1,000 per account. That's $1,500 away from the drawdown to be locked. But again, September, I had a terrible month. I finished minus $300 in the month. It's all good. October, we're looking good so far. We have a 100% win rate. Hopefully we can keep that up, which is not likely. But again, if we have a good October, make another $1,000 a month. Again, I'm not putting a cap on what I should make, but then you're literally $500 away from the drawdown. And that's 3 months. That's 2 good months and 1 bad month. Even if another bad month comes, we have plenty of room to build back up because we've been there before. I was on a 5 trade losing streak, and I think I was down $600 per account. Still have freaking $1,900 of drawdown room, $1,800 of drawdown room. That's plenty of room. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop rushing the process. But I want to go over a trailing drawdown because this confuses some people a little bit what that is. You probably have the question about it. But here's the definition. A trailing drawdown on Apex Trader funding account is the maximum amount your balance can drop before your account is breached. It trails your highest balance, meaning as you make profits, right? This is the part. As you make profits, the drawdown moves up with your account size until you hit a certain profit level. So once you pass the evaluation, you get funded. The trailing drawdown stops moving after your account reaches $2,500 and above, the starting balance. So for a 50K account, after that, it stays fixed so you can build profits freely without worrying about a trailing drawdown anymore. So look, let's say you leave runners, right? You take a trade, you start at 50,000. Let's say that trade goes all the way up to 50,500. You don't take profits. You set it at break even, you get stopped out at break even, you don't take profits. Your trailing drawdown was 2,500, but from the highest point when it hit $500 in profit, if you took profits there, you'd still have $500 in drawdown. But since you didn't and the trade went back to break even, it goes off the highest point your account was at, right? So now you will have $2,000 of drawdown. So you technically lost $500 of your drawdown because you didn't take profits. See what I'm saying there? That's why I take partials right now. When I do get back past the trailing drawdown, that's when I start letting my runners run and do their thing. But right now, I'd rather secure my profits at my 1 to 2, my 1 to 2.5, my 1 to 3, be done for the day. Got my trade, I executed what I wanted to do, made profits. Let's keep building until we get to that point where we can let those runners run, right? Hopefully that helps you understand what that is. So I think this is the last slide, but advice I'd give myself when getting funded: how to make accounts last slowly, building them up and not blowing them, and stop repeating the same cycle. So number one, I have don't rush the process and stick to your rules even when you're close to getting a payout. Most traders blow their funded accounts because they get too focused on the payout or trying to prove a point. Take your time, stop comparing your journey to someone else's. Build your funded accounts slowly and get to the point where you can take monthly income out, and don't rush the process. Number two, use risk management. Stop thinking quicker is better. That mindset will not last long in the future. Be consistent, patient, and stick to your system. Small wins and steady consistency adds up over time, and that's what helps you survive those losing streaks and protect your funded accounts from drawdown. Slow and steady always wins the race. Stop rushing the process. That's what sets most traders back with their funded accounts. Focus on where you can take these accounts in 6 months, then reevaluate and see how much progress you've made. Build slowly, stay consistent, and stop stressing about every losing trade, right? We gotta stop stressing about taking a losing trade because that is part of trading, and I'm starting to realize that now too. But again, that is part of trading. Sorry about the dog in the background. But we're going to take losses. We're going to have losing weeks. We're going to have losing months. And we're going to have losing days. So number three, focus on keeping these accounts for the long run and growing as a trader. Work on getting better every single day and slowly building your accounts over time. Stop worrying about how much you can make when you're not there yet. Focus on the trading day in front of you and perform to the best of your ability each day. When you focus on the process, the money will start to flow over time. But being disciplined, patient, and consistent is what will set you apart from most traders. The goal is consistent payouts every month, not just one payout to show off in front of people. Post a screenshot on Instagram and say, hey, I got a payout. I'm a profitable trader, but you can't do that consistently over the long period, right? And do that every single month in the long run. So that's pretty much it. So that's the information I put for you guys. Hold on, we'll make this bigger. That's the information I put together for you guys literally yesterday. I went through all my notes to try and give you guys the best information possible from my journey, right? This is my journey. You guys can take this advice if you'd like. I think I personally give out good advice because I wish I had someone that could give me this advice when I first started trading, right? Because I've been scammed by people, waste my time. I literally went back in my notes of books I've had from years ago, and I was learning stupid shit. Like, this is the stuff I wish I could have psychology-wise, risk management-wise, and also, again, just overall as a trader that's building up in their journey, right? Again, I'm not where I want to be yet. I'm not the best trader yet, but I truly believe I give out good advice, and we will get there one day. I know I might sound stupid right now and delusional, but I just know and I promise that we're going to get to where we need to be, and we're going to go back and make videos on it in the future of these videos that I make. And I've done this in many videos before. I say that we're going to get it done in the future, and that's why I literally built my community. Because again, in the Discord that I have, I just want everybody to win. I want everybody to get good at trading and show that people this is actually possible to do, and showing them the truth of the journey as I go on through it. And showing the real reality of trading is something that can help motivate people, or like you out there who's watching the video, that this is actually possible, especially when I get to that point, right? If I looked at myself a year or 2 or 3 years ago today, dude, I even go back and watch my first YouTube video, which was 8 months ago. And it's like, dude, it's insane how much you can grow within a short period of time if you just stay consistent and actually keep trying to learn and stick to your dream and stick to chasing your dream every single day. Again, small wins add up over time, and being consistent, I'm telling you, it's the best way to do it. I know it takes longer, and I know it sucks, and I'm still dealing with that now. But again, we will get to where we need to be. You just got to have belief in yourself, trust God, and freaking put in the work as hard as you can, as much as you can, and God will do the rest, all right? So again, I wish you guys the best of luck on your trading journey. I'm excited to see where we all get in the future. Hopefully this is good information for you guys. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you'd like. I'm a little bit of a weird kid, so you can say whatever you want. You don't have to follow me if you don't want to. But again, I don't know. Just posting the truth, the real reality of my journey, guys. I want to help as many people as possible. And again, I try and do the best I can, putting the best information for you guys and acting like myself in these videos for you on YouTube. All right, peace out, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the trading day.